Well, one of the wildest lessons I ever learned about business or life happened to me when I was 5,000 feet above the earth, free falling at over 120 miles per hour, and I couldn't find my ripcord. It was 1992, and doing my first solo skydive was the next big step for me in this pursuit I was on to push my limits, to really bring out more of who I really was, because I was discovering that success really isn't so much what we can achieve, it's really about who we can become. I was noticing that whenever I pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone, they would start helping me in these other areas of my life. So my challenge here was to really push my limits and strengthen my courage. And I had done some pretty extreme things in the past, but the one thing for me that really brought up the most fear, that really got my knees starting to go, was the idea of jumping out of an airplane. So I head out to this drop zone. I drive out there, and I'm pretty darn scared. And I see my skydiving instructor, and this guy comes sauntering over, "How you doing? My name's Billy." He's got this deep southern drawl. Imagine this guy. He's got about 3 days of scruff on his face. His hair's sticking up in every direction. And he's got this tattered t-shirt on, and it says, "Skydivers, good to the last drop." Okay. Billy looks at me and he goes, "So are you scared?" Totally cool, you know? "No, fine." He saw right through my act. I think he knew how terrified I really was. But he went over the safety instructions, what we had to do. He said, "Okay, Rich, there's a couple things you got to remember. If this goes wrong, you got to do this. If this goes wrong, you got to do this." And he said, "Also, you got to remember, you got to arch your body. You got to arch, so your belly falls nice and flat. Your face toward the ground." Okay, got that. He looks at me and says, "There's something else I want you to remember. If you ever start to panic or struggle, I want you to remember, stop, be aware, and resume control." The plane takes off, and the higher the plane got, the faster my heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. I'm looking out the window. I'm getting more and more nervous. I'm thinking, "Okay, I know I can do this. I know I can do this." All of a sudden, Billy taps me on the shoulder. "Hey, Rich." "Yeah?" "You know what the hardest thing is about skydiving?" "No, what?" "The ground." They open this door up, and this ice-cold wind comes howling in. You hear the roar of the engines. I look out the window. This is what it looked like. So I did what I said, what I was supposed to do. I climbed out backwards. Billy holds onto me, and I hold onto him, and I yell out the protocol. "Ready, set, go!" And we leap out of this plane into one of the most life-changing events of my life. I'm hanging on to Billy. He's hanging on to me. We're falling at 120 miles per hour. We're having a great time. The wind's blasting. You can feel everything rolling around. I look up at Billy. His skin on his face is all flapping around. But now, this is the point where Billy told me we had to let go of each other and our parachutes would entangle. Right when I got away from Billy, I heard this voice in my head. "What are you doing out here alone? You're going to screw up. You're going to die." In that moment, I forgot the whole thing. I was supposed to arch my body. I lost my arch, and I started to reach for my ripcord. I started to tumble over and over. I'm freaking out. I'm tumbling over and over and over, tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. I'm trying for my ripcord. The harder I tried to get it, the less successful I became. I'm falling quickly toward the quickly approaching ground. And then in that moment, I remembered Billy's advice. If you ever start to panic or struggle, stop, be aware, resume control. In that moment, I remember, oh yeah, stop, be aware, resume control. I took my body, I arched just like Billy. I said, arch way back, arch, 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 arch. Just like Billy said, my body leveled out, nice and flat and stable. This allowed me to correct my position, got clear, saw what was going on, I was aware. I did my wave off, and I could find the ripcord that I wanted so bad. Reached back, pulled it, and woof, this beautiful multicolored canopy opened above me. And I know for you, sometimes you feel like you're spinning around out of control. Technological advances keep changing. You're expected to do more and more in less and less time. You're also having to deal with some stereotypical attitudes about what you do and how you're supposed to do it. True? So what I want to share with you today are some of these powerful lessons, and just like Billy shared with me today. And believe me, you don't have to jump out of an airplane to develop yourself, to push your limits. Pushing your limits and getting out of your comfort zone will help you grow, but that could be making that important phone call. Could be telling someone you care about how you really feel, speaking your bold truth. That's getting out of your comfort zone. Could be going out and singing karaoke, right? That can be getting out of your comfort zone. Whatever it is that where we push ourselves and we can grow, it develops more of who we are. And everything around us starts to get better.